Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about The Sisters of the Crimson Vine, sorry I had to double check that, by P.L. McMillian. I don't have a physical copy as I was sent an ebook edition for review by the publisher of the book, Timber Ghost Press. And I'll be honest, I really love this book. I guess it technically is a novella. It comes out at like 114 or 40 pages, something like that. But either way, it was a very good, shorter horror read. It's one that I did very much enjoy because it did keep me guessing, which is always kind of fun. Especially, I think when horror leans into tropes, sometimes if you're like me and you've read a lot of horror, if you consumed a lot of horror movies, it becomes easy to guess how things are going. And sometimes that's fun, and then other times it can also have the opposite effect and pull you out of the story. And I'm happy to say that did not happen here because I'll be 100% honest, I thought they were vampires the whole time. That is what I thought was happening in the book. I mean, it says Crimson Vine. It's, you know, the whole story is about a guy that is in a terrible car accident. His name's John. He wakes up in this covenant. These nuns have saved him. They're all kind of creepy. They're all beautiful, and they're like youthful. Well, most of them are beautiful, and they're like super youthful. And it's pretty plain to pick up on that there is something sinister going on here. Even though John is head over heels for a couple of the nuns, I 110% at the beginning of the book, I will say up until like the second or third part of the book, still thought they were vampires. Don't want to spoil too much for you guys, but let's just say this book takes a radical left turn that puts it pretty deep into cosmic horror territory, and made it feel really exciting and really refreshing. And yeah, I love the way it went. I did not see it coming. Obviously John is not alone. He was injured, so he's not the one trying to solve the mysteries of the covenant. There are actually two other church auditors that show up because it comes out that the church is under the impression, and rightfully so as it happens, that these sisters are not sending all the funds they are making back to the mother church. So they're there to figure out what's going on, and it becomes very clear that these nuns and the surrounding town no longer respect the church in the way that the church deems that they should. This comes not only how, you know, the nuns talk about the church, but also due to the fact that they treat these priests kind of like shit the whole time. They do just enough so they can't be seen as directly disobeying, but I mean, they are giving them the cold shoulder compared to the main character John the entire time, and basically ignore a lot of what the priest asks. And then unsurprisingly, you know, the priests are trying to get John to help them in their investigation because they feel that John will be able to uncover more, because they're basically being stonewalled at every turn. Now, the reason for this, as we learn in the book pretty early on, is that, you know, this covenant survived World War II. I think it was like a bombing in World War II, and no, the church basically did not send them any aid. They were kind of left to fend for themselves. So it is understandable why they feel the way they do. But let's just say there is a lot more going on than just, you know, hurt feelings when it comes to the full depth of what is happening in the Covenant. I don't want to really spoil too much because I do think this is a really fun read. But yeah, it's kind of, I thought it was going to be more folk horror at first because it definitely gives you that folk horror vibe, and then yeah, it kind of takes a cosmic turn. But either way, I really loved it. It felt like reading a kind of like one of those movies you stumble across on Shudder where you're not really sure what it's about at first, or like at least where it's going, and then when you think you have it figured out, it goes in a different direction. And then, you know, you see a bunch of reviewers talking about how great it is. they always use that phrase in Shudder where it's like new and refreshing, and that's really what this novella was, I think, for me. I definitely read it at the right time where I was starting to get a little burned out on horror. Basically for the reason that, you know, I had essentially read a bunch of werewolf books. I was reading some paperbacks from hell, and they were very trope heavy. I could see a lot of the things coming from a mile away, and while that was kind of fun and I enjoyed the B-movie action and on some of these books, I was just getting burned out. So yeah, this book was new and refreshing, and it really kept me guessing. And the best part is, you know, I didn't really take a whole, it's not a very long book, so it's not like a Stephen King doorstopper, so I was able to get through it pretty quickly, which I also enjoy, especially now that I'm basically working full-time. So it is awesome to be able to just, you know, kind of get the feeling of finishing a task or finishing a book in only a couple hours. So I really did enjoy that. Yeah, if you like folk horror, if you like cosmic horror, if you like creepy nuns up to no good, and if you just like Catholic horror, like, I think that's really a genre or two of its own, where like bad things happen in these like seminaries and covenants. And I'm not Catholic, so I don't know all the terms, but I know those two because I do watch a lot of, I guess, Catholic horror movies or stuff that revolves, or horror that revolves around Catholicism, because I mean, it's matching outfits and creepy old churches. I think, you know, it's not hard to find something scary about that. I absolutely love this book. I do believe it is out now. I will put a link in the notes below. If you are looking for something to read and you like folk horror and you like cosmic horror, or you just are looking for a short horror read, or to try a new author, or to try a new small press, 100%, you know, take a chance on this book. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, I'm excited to see what else, you know, Timber Ghost Press puts out, because they did actually send me another book, and I will also probably review that on this channel. So before this video gets too long, if you like this book, if you've read this book, if you want to read this book, if you know more folk horror, cosmic horror mashups that I should read, please let me know in the comments below. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.